Welcome to DC.
And here it comes. Swing and a miss. And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Dagger! It's 1974. The Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
Don't like that. I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Despite all this, despite the churn, my approval ratings keep going up.
We are ready to give our 500% support back to this franchise, back to this city, back to this team after Snyder leaves. And then this is the poo-poo you put on the field.
For the very first time, the Washington Mystics are WNBA champions.
The Washington Commanders select Jayden Daniels.
I'm going to support fake teams that can't ruin my life.
Did you call bank? I call game.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome in, Defeating the Curse. The show officially moves into its season, postseason, NFL season. It is a tough time to be a sports fan, but we're going to give it our best shot here. It is officially the first week of the after NFL season. I mean, bit season is historically what it's been called, FP. You know, that's the name, that's the moniker that's been attached to the season. That, you know, basically it's I think Chad calls it's two types of sports, right? There's the NFL season and the NFL off season. And we are officially now 6 days removed from the end of the NFL season. Here we are. And I hate to make this about the Commanders here to start, because there is some news to talk about. The Wizards are improving. They look interesting, at least. The Capitals are red hot. Baseball, you know, Matt the Met is nonstop chatting about whatever's happening with the Mets and baseball and all this stuff. Steve's excited about spring baseball too. Like there's stuff happening. But I got to start the show here with a question, FP. By the way, happy belated birthday, sir.
Thank you.
If the Commanders are on the road in Brazil, would you rather go to Brazil or would you rather go to Madrid? Potentially. Commanders at Chargers to open the season. Commanders at Chargers in Brazil to start the season. Or somewhere in the middle of the season, it could potentially end up being Commanders versus Dolphins in Madrid, Spain. Which one are you going to?
I'm always going to take, if you're forcing us on an international game, give it to me start of the season. Let's get it out of the way, prepare for it, get there early, tactical. Do whatever.
You're going strategic here. You want to get it done. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt the flow of the season flying to Madrid. What's the time difference in Madrid? Whatever it is,
it's 6.
Yeah, so no, I can't do that.
Well, Brazil, you were talking about this in the green room before we hit go here.
Field sucks. The
field in Brazil was a huge problem.
It took out Jordan Love. The Eagles couldn't do anything last year, week 1. It was terrible.
Oh, it was the Eagles. That's right. I was actually trying to pull who played in that Brazil game. They were complaining about the field, and then the Eagles couldn't wear green because green is there's a local gang affiliation. There was problems there. That's tough. It's also cold, right? Or I guess it would be spring in Brazil. I don't know. Madrid to me seems like the bigger market. Like
is it Madrid? It's Madrid and Germany.
Yes.
Mid-season international games.
Yes.
Germany would be amazing.
Germany would be amazing. You're also, you know, in the fall, you're also dealing with the start of most of the professional soccer leagues, right? Like there's a lot going on there. The weather's a little bit milder. I don't know. It's tough for me. I think I would also rather see the Dolphins. I think. I don't know. Maybe I want to see. I don't know. Easier flight for sure. I think the flight to Madrid, a lot more flight options to get to Europe than to South America. Yeah. Or maybe that's a push. I don't know. It's just interesting that it looks like. I mean, we'll know officially, I think, later this week. But it looks like the Commanders are going to be featured in one of these international games, and the odds are offshore books are saying it's probably to open the season. I know there's a lot of people talking about Thursday night Eagles opening up at home against the Commanders.
Jerry's pushing for it to be the Cowboys. that game.
On what grounds? On what grounds? That Dak is the guy.
That they that the somewhere in Cowboys Delulu land, they think that they're not that far off because they competed well against the Eagles, who went and won it all. So Jerry's like, let's start the season winning against the champs and show everybody. It's a whole marketing TV rights thing. But the bigger story is not just the international games. You and I are habits of creature, right? Like church in the morning, quick cup of coffee, handle whatever you have to handle, and then you're plopped down on the couch at 1:00 for a Redskins game. That's not going to be the case this season. We're going to be primetime darlings. Jayden's going to get.
Oh, okay. What percentage of you is concerned with Jayden? And I'm not going to call it the rookie wall, because if that somebody has to remind me when that happened. The sophomore slump is very real. Like, what happens if the defense starts like VR training Jayden or something? I don't know. Like with all my heart, I want to believe that this is going to be the new norm. Like, NFC Championship game is now our baseline expectation, and that's crazy. And someone's going to have to walk. I know emotionally I'm going to have to walk this back. I know I will. But aren't you just a little concerned that Jayden can't keep his foot, like he can't keep his foot down like this for going into season 2?
Listen, there's probably a lot of Kansas City people that were having that same kind of conversation. This is after Mahomes' first year getting him to a championship game. Fair. And you hope that it kind of follows that roadmap, right? But when it comes to like the first of all, when it comes to like the primetime schedule, I'm going to complain because I like the 1:00 games. But I think Quinn and the coaching staff and Jayden have this team able to get ready and adapt to whatever not playoff, but whatever game window they have to, because of seeing the late playoff games and the different times, and like they can compete. They know how to come out to games ready. So I'm not worried about that.
I agree with you though. I would rather them play all their games at 1:00. I know that's not what's best for the league, but I feel like that's what's best for the fans. Like I when it goes well, the day is perfect and we can carry about our business, and it's all rainbows and butterflies. And if it goes poorly, you still got 2 more games to kind of chase away the angst, right? And the ill will and the ill feelings. And you carry about but those also, because I really enjoy watching the games. Like my kids are super into like football finally, and they want to stay up and watch everything. It's hard to do that in the evening. So like I understand what's best for the league is probably to put Jayden in as many primetime spots, especially against NFC teams. We've got the Bears on the schedule again. Yeah. Right? Like I think they're going to continue to drive this, it's rivalry. I don't know. Are we really rivals with the Bears? I don't know.
No. I mean, I would love to see
if the 4th season in a row, FP, we play them.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of smack talk between the two fan bases and a lot of intermixed things, but listen, like the NFL and the schedule makers have been burned twice by Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, right? So I think their whole mindset is going to be primetime games go to the tried and true QBs, but like the younger, more exciting ones, right? So you'll get Bengals and Burrow, you'll get Jayden and Redskins, you'll obviously get Eagles a bunch, you'll get Lamar a bunch, you'll get all the Herberts and whoever, you'll get all of those majority of the prime times, and they're probably going to go away from like the Kirk Cousins and the Aaron Rodgers and the Russell Wilsons and kind of the
they still have all the Thursday games to fill too. Like maybe those Thursday games to me are terrible. Like that's the one thing for me that I would be really upset about, right? Move us into prime time on Sunday night or Monday.
That's another reason why I would love to get that week 1 Thursday night game against the Eagles, because that's your Thursday night game. So you can prepare the whole time for it, and then you get a mini bye, and then you just start your season normally, week 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think tactically what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Like go do it early in the season. I mean, the Eagles obviously did it last year early in the season and then carried up, they just kind of moved on from there. 2-2 and Sirianni spitting on people and talking a bunch of trash, and then they lost one game the rest.
Tinfoil hat time is, do the schedule makers see the Redskins or the Commanders as a team that they want to go deep into the year? So then do you start getting those favorable schedule matchups and a little bit less travel and, a little bit more favor to this team as opposed to years
I
past,
think so.
because they want us to maintain the health and maintain, that the momentum that we build up, because they know end of season NFC East matchups, Eagles playoff push, whatever, the Jayden story. That's where
the league is better when Washington is better.
Yes, 100%.
Now, it hasn't happened many times going back 10 or 15 years, but every time the team pops up, think about the Operation Patience. Think about all the marketing that was spent on RG3 and his comeback, that second season. Obviously, it all fell flat. It didn't matter in the end, but it was better for the league when Washington was competitive and out in front and selling tickets. Because, as bad as that loss was for Detroit, it was so important for the league for the Skins to get over. It just was.
How big of a market the DC market is. It's a big market. It's not New York, LA big, but it's easily
fourth. Isn't it? Behind Dallas?
Probably. It's a massive market. Yeah. Of course, like NBA, nobody cares about NBA, period. We can get into that later. But hockey, it's become a major market player for NHL, right? Nationals for a good decade and a half, they were a premier league, a premier team in the MLB. They're
maybe half of a decade.
Half of a decade? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll defer to Stevie and Matt on that one. Their build up to the World Series and maybe that first season after. When they were,
there was a lot of playoff heartbreak when you brought in Bryce Harper and you brought in Zimmerman.
I agree.
I agree. But it was a big market.
But there's nothing like the hype of what we just rolled with the Commanders, and it wasn't. It was the dramatic fashion, and I think you said it later. One of the shows late in the season. As good as the record was, they could have missed the playoffs, right? If you don't get every lucky break, if you don't get every call your way, right? Sure, Terry scored against the Cowboys late, and they could have kicked the field goal and tied it and whatever. Like things happen the way they do. But once they got to the playoffs, that beat down of the Lions, like that is something that potentially alters the Lions' trajectory moving forward, because they've lost their two premier coordinators. They're going to have to address, they're going to lose a couple people to free agency.
Their biggest question mark is now Jared Goff and the stinker that he put up.
Yes. Yeah. There was I'm not going to name the site because it's not a reputable site at all, but they were talking about Stafford going back to Detroit, as the one piece that they need. To get them
Matthew Stafford away from a Super Bowl.
Okay, if you just like from a stats perspective, right? It makes sense, but there's no way. There's just no way.
No, that'll never happen. But I'll take that over Stafford going to the Giants, which is the other rumor for him.
I heard that too. The Giants are going to have to do something. Their fans are all over that ownership group. They can't draft. They can't sign players.
They broke
do something.
HBO Hard Knocks.
Yeah, well, yeah. Tell me more about this. I saw the message.
They're not going to do the front office Hard Knocks with another team, because every team is seeing what the Giants did and how they just became a laughingstock letting Saquon go. That HBO Hard Knocks is we're not going to do another front office series.
HBO doesn't want to do it, or the NFL doesn't want HBO.
I don't think HBO wants to do it.
It was great for HBO, no?
Yeah, it was, but
I could see the NFL coming in and saying, well, this is bad for our brand that, we are watching them basically not sign a premier MVP, an MVP caliber player who goes on to win the Super Bowl.
I was talking to LP about this. This is the downtime, and there's 209 days or whatever till NFL kickoff or something like that.
Wait, you ticking days off on your fridge
already, baby? Come on, we just got a taste of championship game. Of course,
less than 3 weeks ago,
the excitement getting to the NFC Championship game superseded the excitement of the Nats and the Caps winning it all. Right?
Oh, that's a big claim.
Winning it all. The Redskins getting to the championship game and the excitement from Detroit going to Philly game.
It was a fever pitch, but I don't know if it's bigger than actually winning.
It's bigger.
No, I don't know. I mean, it was big.
Nats had the COVID wash. If it wasn't a COVID, if COVID didn't happen right after they win,
maybe different.
Maybe a different story. And then the hockey is just a smaller market, right? Like everybody got into it because DC needed it for a while, but.
Well, I mean, hockey's there's a renaissance right now for hockey. I mean, and it's not just DC.
Right, yeah.
I mean, this nations thing that they just pulled off,
fantastic.
Was awesome.
Fantastic.
And you know, Trump in our for the last how many years we've been using the intro for the show where, you know, they're chanting USA, USA, and he's complicated business, this and that. It's kind of ironic, right? Because all like the fights that broke out FP were over people booing the national anthem. Am I wrong?
Canadians booing the national anthem.
Stupid Canadians, and they're booing.
The one nation in the world that you can't piss off decided to boo the national anthem, and USA just came out.
Yes, the great northern Mexico without a military that relies on America for everything.
But we just 3 brawls in the first 9 seconds. It was glory. Like, I don't know how many people in the chat were watching it. I was tuned in.
I was watching.
The start. It was fantastic. And it's just such a big contrast because that is the NHL All-Star break, right? The 4 nations matchup is the NHL All-Star break. When you see how serious the teams take it and the brawls and the amazing play and just fast-paced hockey, and you compare it to the shit that was the NBA All-Star game where it was 3 hours of the TNT crew shitting on the NBA as a whole, Kevin Hart making terrible jokes, and what maybe 40 minutes total of actual basketball play. It was a joke, an absolute joke.
And you said it.
And right? The blue court and is awful.
But I mean, does any other sport still care about All-Star Weekend? I mean, look. Let's just talk. You already perfect segue into this, right? What does MLB do? You know, like their skills contest.
Home run derby is cool.
That's what I'm saying. It's cool, right? But it's a known. It's a part of the game. Like I don't know how to differentiate this in my mind, but it makes sense in my mind. I don't know how to get it out here, but let me try. During the MLB All-Star Weekend, you're up there doing something you would potentially do in a game. Just smash balls, right? And everybody's, you know, the kids are running around and everybody's kind of light and the players all get it. Like it's very whatever. There's no circumstance in an NFL game where you're throwing balls at a hoop. Like a trash can, right? Yeah. Like you're okay,
you mean like the Pro Bowl games and how stupid they are.
That doesn't happen, right? Like they don't stop the game to see who can get closer to the target or to the mark. Similarly, in the NBA, which part of the NBA game is like a dribble, pass, and shoot? Like they're all parts of the game, yes. Well,
but like Wemby and CP3 completely ruining
leave it to Chris Paul, by the way, to find a way to cheat.
I mean, I love it.
Qualified. Yeah, I mean, it's not against the rules to just miss your shots, right? Yeah. Instead of trying to make one of 5 shots, just miss all 5 and run to the next thing. I don't, but like leave it to him to corrupt, you know, the rookie, the shiny new toy that the NBA needs to be successful. Like they got to get him away from Chris Paul immediately after that. But again, every like, what's the NFL doing with the Pro Bowl? We're not that far removed from Sean Taylor rocking punters and kickers or whatever. Like the game used to mean something. The Pro Bowl was always the toughest because it came after the season, right? It would be interesting to see what would happen with the NFL if you did like I mean, they're dying for that one extra week.
Yeah.
Move everything that 1 week so that
you get injured in the non-team
Pro Bowl. The current version of the Pro Bowl is basically non-contact. So why not just give everyone that random week in mid-December off? Right. And just go do your skills competition and everybody can hang out in Orlando and then keep going. It also means the Super Bowl gets pushed back to, you know, President's Day weekend, which I don't think anybody's going to complain about either.
It would be fantastic. I think the problem is it used to mean something when you were called a Pro Bowl player, right?
Yeah.
Now
money, baby, money.
Yeah,
money.
But now there's so many first ticket Pro Bowlers that say no to going, that suddenly you have like, no offense to your guy, but like Bo Nix is in the Pro Bowl. Like, okay, next year they get to say Pro Bowler Bo Nix, but is he really a Pro Bowler after?
No, how stupid.
Mahomes and Allen and Lamar and
how did Russell Wilson end up in the Pro Bowl?
Exactly.
What are we doing here?
Pro Bowl means nothing anymore.
Let's ride, right?
Yeah.
Or go ride or float, whatever his stupid Denver catchphrase was. What was it? It was go ride, right? Let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Yeah. Like, why is he a Pro Bowler?
Just listen. Either find a way to do what the NHL does, right? Split everybody off by nation, whatever. You're all about.
I mean, it doesn't work in the NFL. It doesn't work in the NFL.
Why does it not work?
I mean, it'd be cool to see if they just like fielded a team from like Africa to play.
What you should do, realistically, what would be fantastic is the Will Compton formula, where you have all whites versus all blacks, and you see which team does better.
Well, listen,
it's a fascinating discussion because now that you have the Eagles with Cooper DeJean and what's his face, like suddenly your weakest part for the white team, your DBs, not so weak anymore.
You also got Mac McClung dominating the NBA dunk contest. You
got go whites, blacks for the NBA. It would be fascinating to see. Because I mean, you got Luka and the Joker, right? I'm just saying it's evened out a little bit more. It'd be interesting.
The NBA. How much of the NBA All-Star Weekend did you watch? Did you watch the dunk contest?
I didn't watch. I watched highlights of the dunk contest. I tuned into the actual game, like the tournament, play to 40 tournament. Yeah,
the play to 40. I actually didn't mind that because it forced. At least you knew when it was going to end. It wasn't like 300 to 299. Yeah. Like the play to 40, I'm okay with, but I think we're probably 1 or 2 years removed from it becoming like a. I mean, they were already playing knockout. It's probably going to turn into like a 3-on-3 competition or something. Like,
why is it so hard to just get guys that love the game to just be like?
I have a theory.
Go play a really good game of gym pickup ball, so let the nation watch it.
I don't want to pile on LeBron, but this is all his fault.
100%.
This is his. Are you just agreeing with me?
Last second back out was bullshit.
Oh well, that's a piece of this, right? Okay. Like I agree with you, but that's not why I'm blaming him for the deterioration of All-Star Weekend. Because 20 years ago, when he was a rookie in this league, right, even into his first 4, 5, 6 seasons, it was still a competitive game where the guys came out and okay, it was lighter for the first 3 quarters, but these guys wanted to win.
Yeah.
And here's my theory on this, FP. During that era, if you just go back to 2000, I mean, anything, pick any random All-Star Weekend between 95, 2005, any of them, competitive basketball. You know what the difference was? That was the closest we ever got to see to Olympic like teams where you have true All-Stars playing together for like an extended period of time. All-Star Weekend was our super teams.
Yeah.
These were the dream matchups that you would manipulate NBA Live and whatever to like make these crazy combinations that you otherwise wouldn't see. You would never see LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh and whoever on the same team. Well, guess what? When the whole league is freaking super teams, there's no interest in the All-Star game because you can literally watch LeBron play on an All-Star team 82 times a season. You can watch KD play 70 times a season. You can watch. I mean, Kobe didn't fall into this, but think about the big three from the Celtics during that same time. Like when LeBron started this trend, nobody else did. The Celtics with KG and Ray Allen, everybody became a super team. So why do you care about All-Star Weekend to watch these amazing super teams when you can watch them every night? Then you fast forward a half generation, LeBron's sitting out, and everyone's like, nobody cares about our league and this and that. Yeah, you know why? Because nobody wants to kill anybody anymore, figuratively.
Yeah, there's no real rivalries.
Like, I see KD versus LeBron as old men now, like 40 times a season. Like, there's, you see what I'm saying? Like, you would, All-Star Weekend was the one time, like, you'd get Magic and Jordan twice a season. And then in the finals, if you were lucky, All-Star Weekend, you'd get to see them match up for 5 or 6 minutes at some point during the game, right? Like, that's what we cared about. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. It's not there. And now it's a whole bunch of, Add to that the deterioration of the the college product, right? Where you don't know any of these players going on to any of the teams. Okay, well, this is what happens when you don't care about the feeder league, if you will, being the NCAA. Like nobody stays there long enough to be good.
March Madness still has the hype with it.
But does it?
Because of insanity around so many games in such a small period of time.
But honestly speaking, and we can and I think this is something let's put a pin in this and come back to it when we have the rest of the guys here. The tournament now is exciting because you can bet on it. It's exciting because it's just nonstop basketball. Like you can stop your life and consume crazy amounts of sports for like this 1 or 2 weekends basically out of the year. But that's a different hype, FP, than what it was 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Paper brackets in the school cafeteria hype.
But what was the driver behind that, right? It was Antoine Jameson and Vince Carter. And
you knew who the actual players were.
You knew the players, and they decided to stay in school to compete against each other, right? To become national championship before. Like, it's the same thing here. Like, who cares about number 15 upsetting number 2 when you don't know anything about the franchises, the school, the players.
Yeah.
All you know is that Duke historically is really good and directional Michigan is not. And then, whoa, we got an upset. But does anybody really care?
No, you're right. And it's a lot of storylines go to the coaches and what the coaching can do.
Okay. So it's different than when even 7, 8 years ago when Virginia was a 1 seed and got knocked out. It was a huge deal that a 16 knocked out a 1 or a 15 knocked out a 2. Now it's just, the odds. Blah, blah, blah.
And you can go even a layer deep, right? So then NIL in general is just going to break all of college sports.
Oh yeah.
Like you're going to get the LeBron model in college now. You're just going
in our lifetime. You will see. Yeah, what is the point? Like the NIL is effectively, it's paid amateurship, right?
Yeah,
like
you're building super teams left and right. Everyone wants to build an Alabama football team under Saban. Everyone wants to build a Harbaugh Michigan team, and they're going to go out and recruit their players and build teams.
So just humor me here for a second. The G League stinks because the basketball's bad, or because the NBA doesn't push it as a product.
NBA doesn't push it.
Okay. A couple years ago in Europe, there was do you remember following? I know you're not a big soccer guy, but there was a push to start a European Super League where they were just going to take like 4 super stud English teams, 4 super stud Spanish teams, 2 German teams, and make this standalone league. There were like Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester
the Serie A Italian team.
They were going to leave their country leagues and just create their own super league of teams, and then just play against each other. And everybody went crazy. The fans were like, "This is awesome," because you just see the super teams play each other. And then UEFA came in and FIFA came in and said, if you do that, you're banned from all tournaments, all competitions, whatever. And eventually it went away. There's a lot of money, though, in soccer. There's a lot of money to be made by starting a super league where you're basically charging teams to be part of it and relegate them back to their countries. Like, the thought is not
have the NCAA with the super conferences.
Are we that far removed right now? Like, wouldn't it actually behoove the NCAA to get rid of all conferences at this point and just start a tiered league? Like, why not just take all 300, even from a football perspective? Like why do you have conferences?
What's considered a Division I school, Division II school, Division III school?
Yeah,
just change that,
the whole thing. Just change the whole thing. NCAA, like college football, like SEC and SEC in this matchup and that matchup. I get it. Historically, there's some relevancy there from 50 years ago because these schools have been playing each other forever. Does anyone really care anymore?
Well, it's also bullshit that you can be in ACC for 4 out of the 5 sports, but then for football, you can be in a completely different division.
Yeah, Maryland is in that mess now. Maryland plays against Indiana in football, but then still plays ACC basketball, I think, or whatever. Oh, no, they play ACC. Oh, no, Big Ten
football, Big Ten basketball, something like that.
Either they need to either force everybody into a regional conference or eliminate all of them. And every season, okay, if there's 10 10. How many games are on a college schedule? 12?
Yeah, 12.
Whatever. Let's just say it's 12. 6 of them against are your historical rivals. Okay. And the other 6 are lottery system. You just play whoever, like in that top tier division or whatever. That's the only way to like even this out, in my opinion, because in the end, Alabama's going to outspend everybody. Ohio State's going to outspend everybody. Florida State, Florida, they're going to outspend everybody. The boosters are just going to throw more money into it. In the end, the fans are the big losers here, FB. Like, at least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, this entire conversation is making me real like we keep saying like NFL is king and like hockey's going through its golden age. It's because they're apparently the 2 most structured sports in that we have right now when it comes to kind of the common sense of breaking out divisions, breaking out conferences, points.
Yeah, but even the NFL
rivalries.
Would the NFL not benefit from a division, like a division realignment? Like I know some people are just against it, but
it would, yeah. Because why is Dallas part of the NFC East? Makes no sense.
Sure, I mean there's definitely teams like I don't know how closely you look at this. I always, anytime I see that graphic pop up where they've got the circles around the teams, I really like looking at it, and I'm not opposed to a regional realignment because I think it's better for the teams. Like I don't think in the end, Cowboys and Redskins, like there's no rivalry with the Commander. It's not a rivalry anymore, right? And when they pop up on the schedule here and there, you'll talk about it. It wasn't that long ago that I think it was the Seahawks and the Raiders. Weren't the Seahawks an AFC team until not too long ago?
Yeah,
I think it was the Seahawks, right? Like, okay, the rivalries they change. Like, I think that's okay. I think that's allowed to be. And you know what? The new one may be the Panthers and the Commanders, right? Because they're geographically closer or co-located. I think in the end, I think it's better. I just do, right? Mid-Atlantic would be the Giants, Eagles, Skins, and Panthers, right? And
you would have the Ravens. Unless you're not changing AFC, NFC.
I don't think you need to change. I mean, maybe. I mean, Texas could be like you could have the Saints. I got to pull one of them up, but it would be like Saints, Cowboys, Texans, and Titans.
Titans,
I think?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is that so bad?
I mean, the interdivisional rivalries now with the NFL have become storied enough that I don't think you have to shake it up. I do think adding that extra game in, dropping a preseason game is good, but basically this entire conversation, this entire tangent is LeBron James has ruined all professional sports.
yeah, okay.
Basically what I got out of it.
That's fine by me. But for sure he ruined the NBA All-Star weekend. Like
But he also ruined the NBA as a whole.
He did. And what he did on Saturday night was despicable. Like if you know your old ass isn't going to play, like to take that away from somebody else, and that's your last bit of like, I mean, as a 40-year-old, just say, hey, thank you to the fans for voting for me. I'm not going to dress. I appreciate it so much. I love all of you. Then let somebody else go. But instead, he does the most LeBron thing in the world, where he just stands up and says, "Oh, unfortunately, I can't play."
He's such an annoying human,
and he just sits there brushing his head aggressively. Like, what is this? What are we doing here? And
the game, like all that he has accomplished, will always be scarred with just how annoying of a human he is.
The fake reading of books and the fake racist graffiti on his house and the school that he built that can't graduate anybody in Akron and the I'm taking my talents to Miami. Is he going to be remembered more for his on the court accomplishments or his off the court just nonsense? I mean, there's so much of it. Yeah. It's not like one or two things. It's so much of it. And now he's got Luka. By the way, did you see Dallas fans cheating? Bring him back. He's not fat. He's not fat. Bring him back. They're on full on revolt. They're doing season ticket refunds.
They got destroyed. I mean, the Dallas front office got destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, are you buying this? By the way, that it was because the wife or the one of the whatever was making eyes at Luka and this and that? Are you buying any of this?
I'm not. I'm also not buying that they were worried that his body was going to break down faster.
Bro, he was big.
He was big, but
I mean, do you see? He's already trimming down now.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like again, you're playing for the Lakers.
But when you're getting your team to the finals and you're an all-pro and you're big, you don't abandon that talent. I think Dallas was never going to give him the supermax, and this was their way of getting out of it.
I agree with you. I'm not. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they wanted to max him
Be
out.
up front.
But I also think that he didn't. I hate to say it, but he didn't earn a supermax, man. Like he's not deserving of a supermax. Like, and he's not deserving of a supermax. Like I know he's 25, but like if you can't control your weight, to me, he's a ticking time bomb. Like
he's getting the wins. He's getting.
But he can't dunk.
The playoffs.
He can't move. Like
can't play defense.
It's going to catch up with you.
The Lakers are now like, oh shit, we got rid of AD. The only thing he could really do was help us on defense, and now we just have this giant open fence. It's just not doing anything.
Yeah, but honestly, they didn't make this trade to do anything this year. This is the LeBron. I'm actually surprised he hasn't announced that he's
retiring.
He's done. Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Kobe made it very well known, and it was a thank you farewell tour. But my fear now is that he's going to torment all of us for one more season with his kid pretending to be a basketball player.
Tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's on brand for LeBron, isn't it? Like, there's no way he's just going to retire. There's no way. No. I mean, and Kevin Durant, I mean, he looked old and tired. I mean, it's sad, but at the same time,
DC.
The young talent in the league is really good. The problem is they're not recognizable. Like, there isn't, like...
You know what would help with that? An all-star game.
An all-star game would help with that, or an all-star weekend where people actually tune in and pay attention to what's going on. I mean, there's some good talent just here in DC. I know you're not a big Wizards guy, and I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but have you been following the Wizards at all since the Kuzma trade? Were you pro or anti the Kuz trade?
Pro.
Me too. Only Andy was the only one that was like, oh, Kuz is better than all these guys and blah blah blah.
It makes. I mean,
It's not nonsensical. It's nonsensical. But can I just read some of this? This blew my mind. Since the Kuzma trade, Keyshawn George, 14.8 points per game, 7 rebounds, 56.5%, basically 57% from 3-point shooting. Bub Carrington, my guy Bub.
You love Bub.
16 points per game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 57% from the field, 55% from 3. Jordan Poole. I'm not a big Jordan Poole guy. 28.6 points, 5.6 assists, 4.6 rebounds, 3.2 3-pointers made. All of them way better since Kuz trade.
Yeah.
Because there's no forcing the ball to one guy who really can't do anything. He can sometimes get his own bucket, but he can't help anybody else. These guys are playing team ball right now. I mean, even Tristan, 9.6 points per game. I mean, this guy was averaging 2 prior to the trade. 5 rebounds, 47%.
The future is finally not bleak for the Wizards.
By the way, and I love Bub. Bub, I mean, he's a local guy. I mean, he's not going to win Rookie of the Year. He's not that good. But dude, he's a baller. He's a baller. He's a guy. He can become a 3-and-D guy in the league. And they're not terrible to watch. The problem with the Wizards is they're very competitive for 3 quarters, and then that's it. Like they
that's where if you do get your lottery pick, which I don't believe is going to happen.
There's no way it's going to happen.
And you do get flag.
No, it's not going to happen.
But that could be.
You think it's going to happen? It's no chance it's going to happen.
But how amazing would it be if he comes in and he gets a Jayden Daniels turnaround of this franchise? And suddenly the Wizards are, the Wizards are the OKC of last year or 2 years ago, and they're
OKC is the world. Amazing to watch. So much talent. The Spurs have a ton of talent. I mean, there is so much talent around the league right now, but everyone is the league
even the
is
Kings,
still,
whatever. Any of those teams.
But the league is still obsessed with forcing LeBron on everybody and his kid. And honestly, I'm not mad at Bronny for taking money that was thrown at him. I mean, he scored 9 points in an NBA game, right? So like for anybody that's arguing like he can't, or he shouldn't, there's an argument to be made there. But he is, and he's able to get points, and he's there because of his dad. I understand.
You need nobody cares about Boston and like Tatum. Nobody cares about the Sixers and Embiid's a joke. The Knicks were a good story. Knicks were a good story, but you're bored of them already unless you're from New York. Like, there's just no storylines.
There is no storylines.
The only storyline was Jimmy Butler complaining about gas in California after the $200 million extension.
That was not the Jimmy Butler that I was going to. That was not the Jimmy Butler story I wanted to talk about.
Which one do you want to talk about?
He definitely pooped on himself. That's poop. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
That is nothing that cannot be anything except poop. All the white knighting for him. It was suntan lotion, in between your butt cheeks. You have suntan lotion, and it seeps through your underwear and your basketball short. Get out of here.
No,
he pooped himself.
100% pooped.
And then he sat down. Like, you can't do that, FP. Like, I'm not going to ask you if you've ever had the misfortune of pooping.
I have never pooped myself. No.
Well, I'm not asking. All right, but in my mind, the one thing you probably don't do is sit in a chair courtside in the mud. There's no way. You have to excuse yourself from the court, and the
coloring was off on it though, because it was like
that's straight diarrhea.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's some like stomach acid, tummy issues. That's the time when you poop yourself. When it's that color. That's when the butt cheek thing is strong enough.
Like, oh no, that wasn't poop. You just missaw it.
No, that's a weak. No. That's a weak sphincter.
That he pooped, right? I mean, listen, there was a rumor not that long ago, about 15 years ago. Do you remember the Celtics game where Paul Pierce had to be wheelchaired out on the court? Well, he grabbed his knee, and it was this big dramatic thing. He ended up going to the back. Everybody was worried, and he comes out like 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, whatever it is. And Peter and I got into this big thing, and he's like, "Oh, he's fine now." I was like, you don't go from I sprained my knee to playing again. Like this isn't like a cortisol shot in your back. This is a little bit different. And then immediately, like 2 weeks later, I sent him an article. Like he pooped himself, and he wanted to stand up and everybody to see it, or for it to fall out of his shorts.
You know what? Fair game.
Of course, it was. At least this way, we can debate whether Paul Pierce pooped on himself or not. Jimmy Butler 100% pooped on himself.
Yeah,
there's no debate. And then he went and sat like the stench. Could you imagine sitting next to him on the court?
But the thing is, like,
coach, like, what are you doing? Go to the freaking locker room. Go clean yourself up.
Isn't that the most Jimmy Butler thing ever, though? Does that surprise you of anybody to have this storyline? It's Jimmy Butler.
I don't know how you live that down when your butt is on TV. Like,
fantastic that his last name is Butler.
But like, you can't live that down in a locker room. You can't live that down when you're up against. I mean, can you imagine the trash talk?
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to call him Streaks or Fudgy Pants or whatever for the rest of his career.
He got so scared of Wemby that he literally pooped himself on the court. And then, I mean, at least have the decency to, like, this is bigger than basketball. Like, sir, you need to go to the bathroom and clean yourself. We'll get another pair of shorts. Maybe a quick shower and come back. It's okay. Like, this is a unique situation, but just to sit and stew in it, no, you can't do that. That's bad. Not good.
It was definitely Dookie. There's no debate on this show. Is what
other possible explanation for your shorts to be that color between your butt cheeks? There's nothing. No. There's nothing. You're not going to.
Even if you sat in nacho cheese.
No way.
No. You didn't sit in anything because that is a stain that was very clear from the inside of the shorts.
That was inside out. That was an inside out situation. That was an inside out situation. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how we ended up on Jimmy Butler's butt.
It's all LeBron's fault.
I don't know how it's LeBron's fault, right? I mean, he's ruined the league. He's ruined Jimmy's shorts. I mean, all these guys though, FP, they're all. I mean, we're 1 or 2 years away from none of them being here anymore.
I'm ready for it. I'm
ready for it too. Like the league is it's gonna be a couple dark seasons, and they're gonna have to find like Morant was supposed to be the next guy, right? Westbrook was supposed to be like the post Kobe guy, and he just all over the place. No sustained winning. It wasn't going to be him. Morant had the potential to be the face of the league, but he kept waving guns and doing fake gangster stuff, and no one gets to see him play in Memphis. Like, it's just not. That's not a market anyone's going to tune in to see regularly.
I mean, you still have Ant-Man if he can,
Minnesota's the same problem though. Like, think about how big KG was in Minnesota. versus KG in Boston, right? Like it's hard. It's just hard to be in one of these smaller markets and have the league just pump you up. Like no one's that excited about.
So would you want to see Ant-Man or Giannis go to a big market? I don't think Giannis.
Yeah,
I think next year Giannis is. I think he's gone. I don't think he stays Bucks.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know how to answer that question because, like, if there's one league that you can do it, it's the NBA. Maybe the NHL to an extent as well. Certainly, that. Like, but yeah,
Stars in the NHL are a little bit more loyal to their teams.
They are, and front offices are and front offices tend to be a little bit more loyal as well. We just saw like maybe the NBA is about to go through a big culture shift here where the teams are going to pull what Dallas did and say, hey, we're just not going to pay you. Frankly, I think some of the tea leaves here are just indicative of the writing on the wall. Like the NBA's ratings are falling off a cliff. Like the money they are banking on year to year to pay these players from TV deal in particular and ESPN, it's not going to be there. Like it's just not going to be there, FP, much longer if it's even there now. Like these are all losing investments at this point. It just is. Hockey is the cheapest of the big four from a media rights perspective. They don't need to do a ton of numbers, right? But they also spread the product is spread out over a bunch of different networks.
And it's so fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, the All-Star weekend, I mean, there was a lot of hubbub about your boy Tom Wilson not making the US team.
Canada.
Canadian team, whatever. He was on vacation with his white Birkenstocks in Florida with his kid.
They didn't. Well, I mean, hubbub outside of the NHL is great for a Caps fan. None of our players got invited to the Four Nations, and that just means right before playoff push, we're rested. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot happening with the Capitals, and I'm following from a stone's throw away, but I'm following the expectations. The expectations are there, FP. Like the team is built right. The team is built right. They're fast. They have a great goalie now. They have the health. Ovi doing his grade 8 chase and the all-time leader. How many more we need?
16 away. 16 before the break. So hopefully mid-April. I mean, top in the Eastern Conference, top in the Metro. I mean, they're just racking up points and pulling away. The concern is like every team that wins the President's Trophy typically doesn't do well in the playoffs, but I think this is a team with enough veteran experience. It's very exciting. Complete turnaround from the narrative that happened at the end of last season about
it's actually wild to think how they
slow and blow it all up, and Ovi's never going to have a shot to do it because we're not going to be able to put a team around him. Completely opposite of that.
It's fun to be around, right? I mean, the expectations are at this point. I mean, playoffs, of course, are a lock. I mean, what's the floor here for this team? Just say it. No one's listening.
Well, I mean, floor, I would want at least second round of the playoffs should be floor, right? Like you shouldn't be upset in the first round the way we have been in the last 2 seasons.
Is there any team right now that scares you? I mean, there isn't really one. There isn't a team in the Eastern Conference right now that I would look at and say they could beat us 3 or 4 games.
There's some really good teams, but I think nobody's as scared of. We're not scared of anyone the way teams are scared of the Caps right now, because they've done every sort of win. They've had the overtime win, the shootout win, the come from behind win, the blowout. Like they've had. It's kind of like the Redskins, right? Like.
Yeah, I was waiting for the pivot.
They won it all. They won it all. Like every kind of version that you can win, they've done it.
Yeah, I mean they get consistent scoring across all their lines as well. Like they're very. It's interesting to see how quickly the team went. Like you said, went from non-contender to end last season to let's see what this season brings or let's see how it unfolds. To losing Ovi he was out 6 weeks. 7 weeks with his broken leg. He picks up exactly where he left off, rested. I mean, you said this, I don't know, about a month or 2 months ago. You said when he comes back, he's basically coming back from summer break. Like he's coming back again, fully rested. Like, which
is like kind of what you want for somebody that old. Like,
sure. He's just
kind of the perfect opportunity.
On. Yeah. I mean, I want him to win the whole thing.
I mean, I would love
I mean,
it.
that's it, right? If this
Playoff
is
hockey, I mean,
if he gets the record and he gets another trophy,
yeah,
it's done,
it's
right?
probably done. I don't think there's a better way to ride off in the sunset. Listen, DTC as a whole, we started 2017 after the 2017 football season.
Yes.
That's when we started. I remember. And then if we don't have that Caps run 2018, does this podcast survive? Like we should be loyal. We should be loyal to these Caps.
Would these come at least once every couple of weeks? Somebody's like, "Well, isn't the team sold? Isn't the curse over?" I really struggle with that. I mean, at some point we have to address our branding here. Like, it wasn't like we were the cursed city. We're never going to have titles. Then we got Caps. We got Nats. We got Mystics in there too. Like we've had some trophies.
As the founder of the DTC name, it was chosen because there's a lot of ways to change those letters.
Okay.
Yeah, discussing the capital, defending the championship.
Oh, we're going all caps now.
No, the capital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's more of a Stevie show. January 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to have like a black MAGA DTC blackout logo.
We'll have different shows under DTC.
Yeah, based on the color of the logo, you'll know
what show you're. Yeah, you'll know. Yeah, the umbrella of DTC shows. Okay.
Yeah, we could. Well, I mean, we could rebrand, but I still think there's a lot of curses out there.
Well, this season in particular for the football team, I mean, we
excised a lot of them.
A lot. The primetime curse is gone. The quarterback curse is over. The owner curse is over. The getting pooped on at live games is over. Us not going to a game, that streak ended this season as well. Like, I think most of us attended at least one game. Stevie got to go to the box as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that we did that we said we would not do.
Yeah.
This season, and that the team did that we didn't expect them to do. So it is wild to think, man. We've been on since forever.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, Kirk was drafted in what year?
12 with RG3.
There was a thing I was reading about. Did you look at the draft class of 2012? Like what happened to all those guys?
Because what's his face is head coach now.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Kellen Moore drafted, played 2 seasons, is now the head coach of the Saints. RG3 retired early. Andrew Luck retired early. Kirk Cousins, I think, is the last quarterback.
Russell Wilson was also 12?
Oh, yeah. Russell, fringe Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. Is he a Hall of Famer?
I don't know why Russell Wilson, like when I look at Russell Wilson and I look at Kirk Cousins, I feel like Russell Wilson's been in the league 10 years longer than Kirk Cousins. I don't know why I see it that way.
Well, he's played a lot more games because
I compare him to I put him in like the Aaron Rodgers category, not the Kirk Cousins category.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Do you think he's going to end up being
if he goes? I'm not. You're the one that sent it that he's on the perfect trajectory to match Brett Favre.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Actually, I was going to share it with you.
Fantastic.
Become a star with the Packers. Win the Super Bowl. Choke in the playoffs consistently. Hold your team hostage. Team drafts replacement. Go play for the Jets. Have an awful tenure in New York. Next on the bingo card, play with the Vikings. Send a crotch pick. Retire and then steal money from the poor. This is great.
Yeah, honestly, all of those I see playing out.
All
also, if you were the Vikings, you might want that 1-year rental of Aaron Rodgers.
There's no way.
And you have JJ McCarthy learn behind him. You might want the rental. I would rather pay Aaron Rodgers a 1-year rental than Sam Darnold more money for him to be Sam Darnold.
I actually think it's a huge downgrade for them than from Darnold. I just do. I know Aaron's numbers at the end of the season were not.
Yeah, statistically, he was great.
But it's everything that comes with him. It's the McAfee show. It's the not paying attention to details.
Yeah, but you're pulling him away. Like put him in a. Listen, the Vikings are great and they're a beloved team. It's a small market. He's not going to have New York media.
But I don't know if he wants to go back to the NFC North. Does he really want to play the Bears defense twice outside, or once outside? Does he want to
storylines of him owning the Bears?
It's not much storylines
in a different jersey. I don't think, and seeing that he can have Justin Jefferson, which I mean, it's all the same crap we said when we were talking about him getting Gary Wilson and whoever.
Trade. I think him and his buddy, what's his face, Adams. They can trade them both to the
Titans.
To the Titans, or hell, swap with the Rams.
Boring.
Send it. Just swap quarterback and receiver, or quarterback and receiver, and just see what happens.
Like Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford to the Jets.
If you're the Jets, you wouldn't take that
for sure.
Okay, and if you're the Rams, you don't consider that. If there's one coach, who looks at this and says, "I think I can make this work," it's probably Sean McVay.
Yeah, I don't.
If you were going to pick one NFL coach to design an offense for a statue, it's Sean McVay.
Yeah, that's true.
Kirk Cousins, statue. Goff, statue. Stafford, statue. Aaron, more accurate, older, but statue. Like, why not do it?
I would love to see it. I like Aaron Rodgers playing fantastic football is also good for the league. He just don't be on Pat McAfee.
Everything else. The problem is everything else. It's the hanging out with RFK and doing whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, you're free to do whatever you want, but it's clearly distracting you from football.
Yeah, just go back to the mid 2000s Aaron Rodgers and just bang all the hot chicks and call it a day.
Yeah, or just dress like Con Air, like Nick Cage, and just show up doing whatever.
That was a good look.
It was a great look. Everybody knew what he was doing too. It was a great look.
Hey, well, listen, we made it a whole show without discussing Myles Garrett and the potential. We'll have to keep that for the next episode.
I mean, he's the odds favorite as he's coming to DC. I'd love to see it.
There's so many potential.
When does tampering officially start? I don't even understand. Like, you're allowed to talk to them starting in March 1st, but you can't sign them until March 15th.
I think the first big notable time is franchise tag is around the corner.
Oh, hey, hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but they also the Skins hired some guy today you were all excited about.
I wasn't excited. You're the one that made a story out of it. He's John Madden's grandson.
I asked the questions like, why do I care that they hired the grandson?
You shouldn't. That's why it was like a side Instagram.
Why is he here? Like, how does he help the team?
He's a quality control.
What does that mean?
That is basically a glorified intern.
Creed's job on The Office.
Yes. It is a glorified intern. That's it. He's a glorified intern.
Okay, but then why the hoopla? Just sneak him in the building like everybody else.
You just make a post that you hired people. You do it for any coaching staff hire.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They make such a big use. John Madden's whatever, like as if
who's they?
The radio.
Okay, well, there's your problem. It's bit season.
Yeah, I know it's full on bit season. Honestly, Matt and Matt that's such a good name for a show, but. Yeah, I mean that's it. Like, I mean, I don't know if you the Junkies and all the shows right now are just.
We need where are my cookies and where are the people that I'm supposed to eat cookies with?
Andy was supposed to send us the cookie for Taste My Cookie. It didn't happen. I did try to watch your OJ show. It was fine. Like I got through the
documentary.
The documentary. I got to be honest. The FX OJ
the drama
show,
of it, yeah.
The FX version with Ross playing I think he was the Kardashian. Like that show was great.
Yeah, but the only thing I was saying about the documentary was they do a really good job at highlighting how many fumbles happened with the evidence. Because when you see it laid out that way, you're like,
but are we learning anything?
No, but it's just like
Does anyone really think OJ did not commit the crime?
You know what I was thinking of? Like, so who would be the player today if he did something that would get as big as OJ?
Not like murder. You're just saying like if he was wrapped up in.
If somebody was like, if there was like the murder, car chase, everything, like who's the player that like fans come out and hold up signs saying like "Run OJ, run," and they take the side of the suspect?
Hold on. Don't tell me. Let me think through this. Give me a clue.
I'm truly asking you because my brain initially went like star power. It would be LeBron, but the entire nation would turn on LeBron within seconds. They were like, "He's guilty." they would narc him out.
So this is beyond just NFL.
Yeah. Like just the biggest athlete.
I don't want to wish ill on anybody, but like,
let's keep a U.S. athlete because obviously there's some soccer stars.
but OJ wasn't like he was a beloved athlete.
He was a beloved athlete, record breaker. He was basically Saquon Barkley.
Oh, come on.
Think about it.
You know, Josh Allen has more rushing touchdowns than OJ Simpson,
Yeah,
right?
but listen, I'm not talking about past stats versus these stats. I'm talking about beloved and then makes the transition. Maybe Peyton
Beloved
Manning.
or beloved? There's a very this word in particular because of our background drives me crazy.
I would say beloved.
I think it's beloved.
Beloved.
Matt says beloved. It drives me nuts.
I think dearly beloved.
Beloved.
Yeah, could go either way.
Blessed.
I would say Peyton Manning.
Peyton would be yes.
It would be the transition to media.
I mean, didn't we kind of see it with Tiger? No.
Tiger was never in the media. He wasn't on Saturday Night Live. He wasn't on every commercial. Also, Tiger didn't do anything. He just couldn't stop banging chicks.
Kelsey? Either of them? Travis?
Nobody likes the Kelseys. No, like who hates Peyton Manning outside of I see his commercial too many times?
Nobody. No one hates Saquon either.
That's what I'm saying. OJ and Saquon, like Saquon is on that. Like if Saquon finds a way to get all his accolades and championships and then switches to the media, he's OJ. Everybody loves him.
I mean, OJ was bigger. He was the biggest TV former NFL player broadcaster.
Naked Gun broadcast. Like maybe Michael Strahan now. I don't know.
That's a good pull. Yeah. Former athlete, beloved, all over the media, like generally well respected. That's a good one. That might be the one, actually. But I don't want to see anybody kill anybody, and I don't want to see
of course not. No. I think I just also wanted to mention that if it was LeBron, the entire world would be.
LeBron has ruined the NBA. He's ruined
all of college sports.
Everything is a super team because
he's
of LeBron.
He's the reason the NIL is in existence. It's all of it.
Yeah, and the nepotism to get your kid. You know, you got to draft my kid and pay him a guaranteed contract too.
He broke it all.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. Are you watching anything interesting these days?
I just started Severance.
And
AppleTV. Season 1 was fantastic.
Oh, you didn't just start. You crushed a season. Or how long did you take you to get through?
Crushed the season in 2 days.
What happened? 8
episodes.
Oh, it's okay. All right. Was it like a weekend? Or was it like a work day?
It was like Saturday night into Monday because Monday was a holiday. So,
like this past weekend?
It's literally Saturday, Sunday.
So
Monday.
your first non-football weekend was binge watching
Severance. Okay. It was that's actually Andy's recommendation. It's a really good show.
Should I try it?
I mean, Apple TV's been hitting it out of the park with all.
I know, but you like the type of show. You know the type of shows I like.
I think you would like it.
All right.
It's a little bit The Office meets a little bit like thriller meets a little bit suspense. It kind of hits on everything.
Compare it to Entourage.
I don't think anything compares to Entourage.
Have you done a rewatch of Entourage recently?
No, but I just added an Instagram feed that has like amazing Entourage clips, and it's
there's one that pops up all the time. It's just Ari-isms. I can doom scroll Ari for hours and hours. He might be the best written, like fictitious character that's based on a real person ever in any show. Because he's a real person.
I would say George Costanza.
Is Costanza a real person in real life?
Yeah, he's Larry David.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm not a Seinfeld mark. Are you sure about that?
100%.
All right, this is a Steve or a John situation. That's their show. But Ari Gold is based on Ari Emanuel, like an actual powerhouse agent, and that's literally who he was.
Entourage might have to move up the
Oh, come on. Hey, listen, can we do 15 minutes every week on whatever show you're like whatever
episode
episode you're watching?
All right, I will let me burn through season
Go ahead and
2.
crank. Yeah.
Let me burn through season 2 of Severance real quick, and then I'll start doing.
Is Severance finished, or are they just not? Are there more seasons coming, or is it over? Is it a Tyrant situation?
I would assume there's more seasons.
Tyrant was a good one too. That could be something we do also. Best short-lived TV series.
Short-lived is 3 seasons or less.
Let's say 3 seasons or less. Tyrant definitely is going to go on that list.
Yeah.
Tehran going to go on that list.
Yeah.
Although there is a rumor that we will eventually see season 3 pretty soon. But still, 3 seasons.
Ted Lasso is just
4.
past it.
4.
And maybe coming back.
Yeah.
If they ended after 3, it would have been perfect.
Yeah. Ballers. 3 seasons. Although it fell off towards the end.
Yeah. Also, The Rock is...
Is he done? Is his star officially faded? No more movies?
He's like, yeah, he's kind of canceled.
I
think it's overexposure canceled. Plus a little bit of the Oprah Winfrey Maui stuff.
Maui situation doomed him. But his
Moana 2 came out. Nobody gave a shit.
I mean, Moana did fine.
Moana 2 came out.
Well, I know. But I'm saying, like, you're not watching these because they're kids' movies, right? You're not watching Moana or Moana 2.
I saw Moana, but no.
Yeah, Moana 2 was not his best.
He's not the Pool he used to be.
This is what happens when you make a string of really bad movies. He actually made years of bad movies, but no one cared because he would pump them up.
And also what happens when he pigeonholed himself into playing the same person.
Well, I mean, he insisted on the Baywatch thing with Efron, and then nobody watched it, and he laughed it off. And then he insisted on Black Adam, and nobody watched it, and then he laughed it off. And then he insisted on Netflix paying him a ton of money for that Red Notice, whatever. I mean, at that time, I was following him.
He had like a 4-movie deal with Netflix.
Yes, and then they ended up breaking it. The new Red Notice or whatever went to Prime this past Christmas.
Yeah, straight to Prime.
Yeah, so...
it was that one movie that he did a long time ago where he played the gay guy. What was it?
The gay guy. I just saw did you ever see a movie? You know, this could be another whole segment, like lost rock movies that don't stink. Did you ever see Walking Tall?
Love Walking Tall.
It was good. It's when he was like normal big size, not jumbo big size.
Gridiron Gang is another great one too.
Gridiron Gang was great.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie Faster. Currently, on
I saw Faster. It's okay. It's a very British transporter guy.
Yes, a lot of leather jackets.
Very Jason Statham-y movie.
Yes, but also not his worst.
So
honestly, Scorpion King was
the show was
Scorpion King actually kicked ass for what it was.
Scorpion King, yeah, and the Mummy Returns. Was he in the Mummy Returns?
I don't remember that one. I definitely remember the Scorpion King. Mummy Returns is Brendan Fraser. I gotta go back and look. We should do a ranking of rock movies. There
was a movie, I think it was Be Cool or something. No, it wasn't Be Cool, where he played a gay guy.
Get Shorty?
Was it Get Shorty?
I have to look.
I'll have to check. But that was like the last time that he like actually acted. And then everything else was just The Rock in a different t-shirt.
There was a lot of that.
And he just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Well, he went through this phase too where he was like when your franchise needed a revitalization, you just had The Rock join. He did that for G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
He did that for Fast and Furious. And then the Calvin. I think the Hobbs and Shaw thing, actually, that terrible fight or feud he had with Vin Diesel, actually, I think it was bad for both of them, but worse for The Rock. Just a bad look.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to come back to Fast and Furious X Part 2.
I'm the biggest Fast and Furious mark. I'll watch it too, but I mean, are we going to debate the best Fast and Furious? It's 5.
Tokyo.
5. 1. No. Tokyo. No freaking way.
It's the best one.
You're so stupid.
It's the best one. Go watch Tokyo Drift again.
You're just trying to piss me off.
Go watch Tokyo Drift again.
It's
Age
five.
is fantastic.
5, then 1, then 4, and then I don't care after that. That's the
Tokyo
order.
Drift.
It's terrible. Oh, I can't. I'm not doing this with you. No, you're just trying to piss me off.
This is my Terry's not elite, but reverse to you.
I expect to see it in the chat tomorrow. Yeah, now you're gonna tell me, yeah. Fast and Furious 2 is a gem. You just don't know. You just don't know.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah. It was cuz we hungry.
Pockets ain't empty. Pockets ain't empty, cuh.
We launched my skyline off a cliff into a boat. That movie was horrendous.
No, but Tokyo Drift aged very well. It's great.
I don't even remember, what am I not remembering about Tokyo Drift except nobody was in it.
That's it. But the actual plot of the movie, fantastic.
Okay. Maybe I don't remember.
That's where Han died.
4 I watched not too long ago because it popped up on like TNT and I couldn't turn it off. I forgot how good 4 was.
4 is train heist. Yeah.
No, 4 is Letty.
Oh,
it's the tunnel
running.
whatever.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel
5
catches
is
an
train
engine
heist.
block with his he catches it on a thing and threatens a guy. And Brian's
5 is train heist in Brazil.
5 is the 1 seed. 5 was the Italian job.
That one was really good. 5 was good, but also
5 was
not
good. Music was good. The characters were good. Like that was the introduction of The Rock.
But that was also the start of the stupidity.
No, 6 is when it got extra stupid.
5 is the safes in Brazil.
Yeah, with the panty. The panty.
And you're going to tell me that 2 Chargers are going to take a safe like that.
We need 2 precision drivers.
You're going to take
in
2 Chargers.
V6 Dodge Chargers.
Driving in perfect unison.
First gen front wheel drive Chargers. Yeah.
First of all, they had Hemi V8s, okay?
They were still front wheel drive. Those were crap cars.
Yes.
But everyone went out and bought a Charger. Dodge has been selling the same car for 20 years. Don't do that. I saw what you did. For 20 years, they've been selling the same car because it was featured in Fast and Furious 5.
I mean, yeah, Fast and Furious 1, everyone went out and bought a SI, Civic, and Integra.
I bought an Integra, summer of 2021.
Pretty sure it was like 5 minutes after you got out of the movie.
I can tell you I saw the movie on the 20th of June, and I bought that car on the 25th. Yeah.
If
it was also
if you still had that GSR Integra, do you know how much it would be worth right now?
That one was that wasn't a GSR. That one was just a GS.
Oh,
or was it a GSR?
No,
it might have been a GSR. It might have been a GSR, the red one.
Yeah.
So if you remember, maybe you don't remember. Maybe not. Acura was discontinuing.
It's freshman year of high school for me.
They were discontinuing the Integra.
Yeah.
We got wind of this because we had a buddy, friend of yours, right? Who worked at the dealership next door. He was like, "Hey, the Integras are all marked off like 10K." I walked in with my dad. I'll never forget it. And there was like 3 or 4 left, like on the lot, and there were more coming, whatever. And it was a red one with black leather interior, and it was a manual. It was a 5-speed manual.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's the one I want." My dad was like, "Can you afford it?" I was like, "Yeah, I can afford it." I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "But you have to remind me how to like drive stick," because I hadn't driven in like stick in forever. It's a brand new car. He's like, "Well, I'll see you at home." He just left the dealership. And I stalled it like 3 or 4 times.
Sounds like your dad, actually.
And then I get onto Route 50, and I'm like going like light to light. And if you're on Route 50, there's that one like big hill, and then it comes back.
Yeah.
Stalled there like 3 times, missed the light. I'm getting honked at. By the time I got to 66, I was perfect. It was great. But yeah, we all bought cars. We all bought brand new cars for like 17K that summer. Silver, white, red, anything on the lot, we were buying them.
I wish I was in a position to do that. I would have taken all of them.
I mean, honestly, even if you go on Facebook Marketplace, there's none for sale. Like never see GS Integra. Although I will say, the new one looks really nice, and I appreciate that they got the 6-speed in it.
Yeah,
front wheel drive,
just bloated.
Yeah, I tell you, 20 did it right. I've been looking hard at some 911s, 968s. It's kind of a problem though when you have 5 people in your family. The car has 2 seats.
I mean, you just keep it on the side and take it
That's
out.
the problem. I'm out of side space. I have another car sitting on the side right now.
Just do a couple Glory Days runs and just the 2-seater, and you're good.
Yeah. What do you do with your car? I drive it to the shooting range and back. It's like the motorcycle. What do you do with the motorcycle? I ride it to the shooting range and back.
Exactly.
That's it. FP, thanks for making time. It feels good to get back in the studio here. I know it's been, it feels like months, but it's literally been 6 days. Let's see if we can get Andy in here with the cookies next week. I will give Severance a shot. Did we give you some homework? Are you watching anything for next week?
I'm gonna start Entourage. We're gonna.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
we're gonna podcast review the Entourage episodes.
Should I start over then?
I mean, is that a problem for you to start over?
No,
it's been a long time since I've done a full season.
That
binge
TV behind me all day long while I'm working or doing whatever. It's either got The Office or Entourage just on rotation. And during football season, it's The League. I could do that too. The League, very underrated show.
I could do The League again. It's been a minute since I've done The League.
Let's push The League though until
Closer.
Get closer to football season. We get back into it. But yeah, I'm ready. Entourage, especially the season 2, 3, 4, so good. So good. Lots of Ari-isms, but
I like it.
Thanks for making time. The show is DTC. For FP, my name is Joe. Thank you for hanging out with us. Every week, we will do our best to be here. It is tough during the off season. Turns out we are a football show, but we can talk about other stuff too, and we will do our best to continue to do that all summer long. We got baseball around the corner. Caps are heating up. The Wizards, although the record stinks, they do not. Our buddy Varun, who's a writer for Washington Post Sports, he's going to be joining us here hopefully later this week. We'll do a 15-minute hit with him. If you see something pop up and it's a little bit shorter, it's likely our interview with him. Thanks again to Bill Rowland joining us last week. He'll be back on the show in 2 weeks' time. The Patriots, by the way, if anybody's watching college basketball out there, George Mason is on fire, and Bill is the voice of the Patriots. We love having him on anytime we can get him. Show is DTC, YouTube, X, Facebook. You can watch it live as we record it. You can play it back, listen anytime on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, anywhere you get your podcasts. Tune in, Odyssey. We're on literally everywhere. Just type DTC or Defeating the Curse. We pop right up and enjoy. Thank you for hanging out with us. Until next week, we are out. Thank you.